name is Elaine T.O. Harris-Kellogg. People call me T.O. Years ago, we found Minnie wandering the streets, and we'd seen her for several weeks, but she would run. She was afraid. But one day she came to us. We've had her probably for at least 8 years. And she was our little baby girl. At that time, my daughter and grandchildren were living with us. And she just made everybody happy. She was loving. It took her a while to accept men in her life because I think she must have probably been abused by men. But my daughter came over to me a couple weeks ago. She was going through some depression because she has an apartment of her own in Camarillo with the 2 kids. And I understood that because being a woman, when you're depressed, you just need someone to hold. So she asked if she could borrow Minnie for a little bit of time. And in order to hold her and cry on her, because I did the same thing whenever I was depressed. A few days ago, my daughter was coming home from work. Dropping off my grandchildren at school. I was at work in Corona when my phone went off, and my daughter was hysterical. She had been in a racket. She was doing a lot of babbling, kind of like the way I feel now. But apparently, she hit a side wall and went head first into a mountain, and the airbags went off, and thank God the grandkids were at school. But Minnie was in the car with her. Minnie was okay. But when the airbags went off and the car came to the complete stop, my daughter thought the car was on fire because of the smokes of the airbag. So she opened the door before she could grab Minnie. Because of Minnie being scared, she jumped out. There were 6 police officers there, 2 off duty. And all my daughter kept yelling was to please get the dog, save our dog. And all the police could say is that Minnie didn't mean, they didn't use her name, but the dog didn't mean nothing to them. And all they did was give my daughter a hard time. She was trying to catch Minnie, and a woman even pulled over, and I don't know who she was, and neither does my daughter. But she saw where Minnie ran, and she was trying to catch Minnie for my daughter because the police wouldn't help her. But she disappeared. The police came to her and told her to get in her car and go on. She was the closest thing to Minnie while she was still alive. My husband and I live in Anaheim right now, and we drove all the way to Camarillo, and we looked for her until almost 5 o'clock in the morning, and we couldn't find her. So we decided to go home. I had to work the next day. I posted everywhere I could that Minnie was missing online as I could at work before I left. But on Friday, I got a call from my daughter that the animal shelter found her dead on the side of the road. And it was right at the accident scene, except for she was on the other side of traffic. She just torn to pieces. Her tag was missing. She has a microchip though, because we might microchip all of her dogs in case they ever get lost. I went by the police station, and I wanted to make sure that they know that the California Highway Patrol, because of them standing around and talking as my daughter was in shock, screaming for help to get my dog while it was still alive. Now she's dead, and it's their fault. They could have stopped traffic. There's a video, my daughter started videoing it, and you know how people are, they're gawkers, and they were all just going really slow looking. At that time, the police could have just done a break in traffic. It would have been simple because they were gawking anyway. But instead, they sped up traffic and made them go on. And my dog was ran over and thrown to the side of the road. Now we're taking her into the vet and having her cremated and her paws clayed because we want something to remember her by, because she's a good little girl and never did anything wrong. And she didn't deserve deserve to die like this. She was supposed to outlive my Rottweiler. She was, because she's so tiny and her lifespan is longer, but instead I'm holding her in my arms and she's gone. And it's all because of the California Highway Patrol, when they could have done something right like firemen do and get cats out of trees, or they do breaks to the road where there's a tire or a ladder laying there. But a live little dog, they would not do a break in traffic in. And now I'm ready to walk into the vet and hand my dog's body over to have her cremated. And I want them to know how hurt I am. I'll never believe in the California Highway Patrol ever again, because they don't save lives, they save whom they choose to save. That's all I have to say. Thank you. Her eyeball